is good, everybody? I'm Isaac Lee, and I know it's been a minute, but I had to do a review for this movie, Don't Breathe 2, that I just came back from the movies from. So let's get straight into it. When I saw the trailer, I knew exactly what I was getting myself into. It definitely had a few elements of different things. As you can see in the thumbnail I put up, you see a little bit of Logan, which you see more of than I thought I would, but I definitely saw a little bit of Logan, the old grizzled veteran with the whole white tank top. You know, you see similar hairstyles and the way they're dressed, so you get a little bit of Logan. You get the brutality from specifically Old Man Rambo Last Blood. You get a little bit of that, and because of his superhuman like hearing and everything like that, I had to throw in Man Murdock Daredevil. So I'm definitely gonna put a picture of that just for a few seconds there. But yeah, going into it, you know, it was interesting because the trailer, it set up all these like different scenarios and different questions and things like that as far as who's this new girl that the blind man is taking care of. As a matter of fact, going forward, I'm just gonna say Old Man Murdock. That's what I call him, Old Man Murdock. So Old Man Murdock is taking care of this young girl who he just kind of adopts, and we kind of don't really know who she is, but for whatever reason he adopts her. Going into it, we find out that at least the name that he gives her is Phoenix, so he's giving her all these like survival skills, and he's basically homeschooling her, and for whatever reason he's just being overly protective of like her whereabouts and things like that. And even there's even like a friend of the family who's like, you know what, you can't be so strict, you got to give, you know, some room to, you know, just actually be a kid and things like that. So I'm not gonna go like beat by beat for the whole movie, but it's another movie where the old man is basically minding his own business and trouble just kind of finds him. Just like in the first one, minding his own business and trouble just kind of finds him. Like I said, there was a friend of the family who took the girl out to go, you know, play or whatnot. As they were coming home, the little girl's like, oh, she wants to go, you know, to the bathroom. There's some creep in there. We find out later in the movie that creep actually happens to be her biological father. You know, they got the same little like gray streak in her hair, like, because you know the little girl, she has like this rogue like white streak of hair, and you know the father, he has a little bit of it himself, but he kind of covers it up with like a cap and whatnot. I also want to add they did put a little bit of John Wick in there. When they killed this man's dog, I was like, yeah, I get it. Yep, they all gotta die. And it was funny knowing that, you know, that's one line that Old Man Murdock won't cross, because later on in the movie there's a scene where he's in the house, I think he's all the way up in the attic, and they stick one of their dogs to attack him, and there's a scene where he's just inches away from this dog, and he could have shot the dog, but he just didn't do it. That's just one line he just couldn't cross. Even when they were burning the house down with their own dog still trapped upstairs, it's like they didn't even care. But Old Man Murdock, he's like, I got a thing for dogs, I can't let the dog die. And then here's how loyal the dog was. Even though it was trying to attack him like earlier, the fact that it saved, you know, Old Man Murdock saved its life, that it ends up becoming like loyal to him and then attacking its former owners. It got a lot of twist into it. So basically the biological father, he tries to play this whole role about, oh, I just want to be a happy family again, and the guy you're with, he's not who you really think he is. And they allude to that little by little, but it's basically the old scenario of, let's play up the whole we want to be a happy family again, when really there's an ulterior motive, and you find out that the biological mother is actually sick, but the only way she can live is by having like a new heart. That is why they were looking for the girl. It's not about, oh, we love you so much and we need you in our lives. No, we just need your heart, and that is it. She meets her parents, and it's funny how they put like a little PG explanation on what they were doing in the original house that burned down. They was like, oh, we had a kitchen that was just in the basement and we would just cook. I was like, seriously, that's how you gonna explain it? But as far as that Rambo element, I got everything I wanted. I was like, okay, because as soon as he find out that, you know, they killed his dog, and then they killed like the friend of theirs, I was like, okay, it's like it doesn't really matter what happens to you all. It's like, okay. And then going back to his hearing, it's funny how, you know, he gets around the house, you know, and you'll still see him like stretching his arms out to try to see, okay, am I in a doorway? Am I walking down this hall or that hall or whatnot? But it's like, it makes you think about how the house is built, you know, how you have like these wood floors and wood steps, you know, everything's making a sound. You go to the basement, you have all like the like metal lockers, and like when you're blind, you have to depend so much on sound. And when you have a house house that's just everything's intentionally noisy, so I can see who's coming in, how far I am from different things. It's just interesting. Now granted, you know, with Daredevil they go on the extreme spectrum of it, but in real life, you know, when you don't have sight, you know, that's what you depend on. You gotta depend on your ears. And it's interesting because even in the trailer you see him take out one guy with a hammer. You see him like shoot 3 people after he just feels the ripples of water, which by the way, he was playing possum with that. I was like, because when they got to that scene I was like, oh okay, he was just playing possum. Okay, cool. So I was loving it. I mean, the only minor thing that I probably didn't like was just that ending. It was, and I was thinking about this as I was driving home, it was basically a rated R movie with a Y7 ending, because they ended as if they're gonna do a Don't Breathe 3 with the girl, and I'm like, I don't really want that. She hasn't earned that. And like, I can't see them doing anything interesting with her that would really bring the audience into it. At least for me personally, there's nothing there that would make me want to go see a Don't Breathe 3 starring this little girl. There's just nothing there. But going back to old man Murdock, he says little things about how, oh, don't take anything for granted because God will take it from you. And the little girl's like, so is God bad? And he's like, God is fair. And then even when he has a past conversation with the like I say, the friend of the family, she's like, oh, like you're a bad man, and that's what you tell yourself because of everything you did in your past when you were in the military, because you did this, that, and the third. And here's the thing about it, old man Murdock, he doesn't put himself on a pedestal as if he's forgotten what he's done in his past. It's like he knows who he is, he knows what he's done, and he's perfectly fine with just living in I don't know, do you want to say living in solitude, but just living alone and just being by himself, you know, despite the fact that he has adopted this little girl. He never really like forgives himself. He kind of just forever just lives in this perpetual torment. And then later on in the movie, you know, he just comes out with it full on. He's like, he tells the girl, you know, I'm a monster. He's like, I've killed. He even said he raped. I was like, so he's like, so by the end of the movie, he's telling the girl, you know what, like you are better off staying away from me. He tells her like, just get away from me. I don't know why they put that in there, because I don't recall them touching on that when they did the first Don't Breathe. So the whole rape element to it, I'm like, I didn't understand why, you know, in this one he's supposed to be like the hero, but at the same time you wrote in that, you know, he raped in his past. I was like, I didn't really understand what that added to the story. But aside from the movie entirely, the only thing that really bothered me, see, the stuff in the movie that bothered me was all minor. The major stuff had nothing to do with the movie at all. Here's my small little rant. When you got people that come in late and they're flashing that light off their phones because they can't find their seats, and then they end up sitting right next to you and they not there to watch the movie, they just want to be a distraction. I mean, before they got in, I'm comfortable, I got my seat, I got my popcorn, I got my drink, I'm in peace, I'm 100% focused on this movie. Then they come in and I'm like, this that late movie date night crowd. Like, this is why I go see matinee movies. This is why I go see matinee movies. People are quiet at the matinee, people are loud at the late movie. And when it hit that credits, man, I jumped out of my seat so fast, I just wanted to get away from them. That's just how I felt. But back to the movie, I really do like it. I didn't like the fact that they killed him at the end, but at the same time, and I was also thinking about this, like, okay, if you do a Don't Breathe 3 with old man Murdock, it's gonna be the same old thing. He's living by himself, trouble kind of finds him again, and now he ends up using his hearing to kill him off. I was like, you're basically spinning your wheels doing the exact same thing. So I don't know what they were doing. It's like, I don't like that route, but at the same time, I don't like the decision they took with the particular ending, the Y7 ending. I mean, like, I feel like there should have been like a third ending they should have gone with. But all in all, I like it. But at the end of the day, like I always say, those are just my thoughts. What are yours? And if you like what I had to offer, hit that like and subscribe at the bottom. I'm Isaac Lee. This is The Rundown.